Hi, yeah, I guess it's another weekend and it's another lovely time to talk about what has gone on over the weekend. Let's start with Friday, where Inter Milan, everybody was hoping that Inter Milan was going to win just to keep up the push, just in case Napoli decides to go on and sleep and mess it up. But then they lost 2 goals to 1. Having lost 2 goals to 1, the onus was on Napoli to come up today again and play against Atalanta. Remember last season when Napoli was on top of the league and it looked like this was the season they were going to win it. It was Atlanta that came to the Maradona and defeated Napoli, and that was how it ended. Then this season, Napoli went to the Bergamo and they won 2 goals to 1. Remember, it was Lukman who scored first, Osimhen equalized, and Elmas, if I can remember, made it 2-1. So there's some significance to this game. And so today they played their game. I'm going to talk about that one later. And then last week we were all ecstatic. We were all drinking 7 Up. We were all, it was excitement. First Arsenal and their, magical comeback, last minute goal by Reece Nelson. And then Liverpool showed us that they've got goals and goals and goals and goals, loads of it in them, and they really did produce the goals, right? 7 goals against Manchester United. Not like Manchester United was a troubled team, was a team that was struggling to defend, was having a bad run. Man United was having one of the best run in the last 5 or so years, and everybody felt like, okay, they were up for it, they were going to go to Anfield and get a result, possibly. Even if they don't win, they were going to go get something. But guess what? That didn't happen because the same Liverpool team that have been off and on. Some people call them the Robin Hood of the English Premier League. They win against the big side and then they go down to the smaller side and they go and lose. And it is crazy, but it has happened. And today again, we saw that early kickoff. I was telling a friend that early kickoff doesn't really favor some of these teams. But the fact that Liverpool won 7 goals to 0 against Manchester United kind of like put you in a place where you start thinking, have they found the trio that will make it work for them, which is Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, and Darwin Nunes. Could that be the trio now? The magical trio in front. We've had MLS before. Sorry, what's that called? Messi, Neymar, and Suarez, MNS or SMN or whatever you call them. Well, those guys were incredible, right? I was thinking, okay, this probably would be a continuation of whatever happened last week, but that didn't happen. Somehow, Bournemouth, bottom of the league table, struggling to get out of relegation zone, played against Liverpool in such a way that they neutralized everything that was good about Liverpool from last week. Everything that was good about them from last week was the fact that they played Route 1, the fact that they boycott the Manchester United midfield, the fact that they played the Highlander and everything. Bournemouth, again, remember Bournemouth, when you look at the way they play, you kind of like tell yourself that this team fear nobody. Why they are where they are on the league table, nobody excuse me, nobody can explain. But exactly that is what happened. The same midfield, the same team that played against Manchester United and did well. So it brings this question to bear. Was Liverpool so tactically good that they struck, they twisted Manchester United to win 7 goals to 1? Remember the first half was 1-0 and then they scored 6 goals in the second half. Or it was just Manchester United that had not just a bad day, but a terrible, horrible, disgusting day in the office. And remember, Man United have gone on from that to go win in the Europa League 4 goals to 1. And looking at Liverpool today, I was telling myself, at least let there be that sense of urgency. Worst case scenario, they got a penalty, they even missed it. So what's your judgment? What do you have to say about Liverpool? Don't forget the Champions League is coming and they're going to travel to Madrid. I don't even want to put my mind on what would happen. Liverpool might go there and go and win, probably still get knocked out, but they might play a different kind of game. Was it because they were putting their eyes on the Champions League? But hey, this is Bournemouth. You can beat Man United 7-0 and then go and lose to Bournemouth 1-0. And it's not like they scored the goal in the very dying embers of the game. Crazy, but hey, it is what it is. Then let's move to Manchester City. I kind of like think that penalty was very soft. Olise and the entire reaction of the Crystal Palace players also kind of like feel like they were playing for it. It does look like, as an Arsenal fan, you kind of like get biased and sentimental and say that was match fixing. Olise just, gave them that penalty for no reason. But then again, I thought it was very, very soft because the ball had gone and the ball is in the hands of the Man City player. That does look like something you can give advantage for. But I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about that penalty that was awarded to Manchester City. Was it a well-deserving one, or one that you could say to yourself, this shouldn't even be a penalty in the first place? Play the advantage and let's see what happens. If they want to win, they win it. Well, anybody who's listening to me will say, okay, the Arsenal fan in me is what is speaking, not really a football analyst. Well, whatever you say, but I need your opinion on that one as well. But then let's travel to Italy and see what happened with Napoli playing at home at the Maradona. There's some things I've noticed with some matches across Europe, especially with Italian teams. You notice that the home team are playing. Napoli were playing today. Not a single fan of Atalanta in that stadium. Napoli had gone to play against Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League. None of their fans traveled there. And you know, like if you're watching a Nigerian league game and such kind of situation is happening, so this excuse me. Well, this particularly happened in Nigeria. Truth of the matter is, it does happen everywhere. It depends on the situation that they are dealing with. But I want to know from you guys, we're taking it for granted in Italy now that Napoli are the champions of Italy, the champions elect, the champions of Italy. But who do you think is that one team that will come second, third, and fourth? So I need you guys to arrange in the comment section, arrange the teams that will come second, third, and fourth. Because sometimes you think it's Atlanta's time now, it's Roma's time now, it's AC Milan, it's Inter Milan. Probably Juventus might even come into the four. But, you know, they seem to stumble and fall. Lazio might even just jump in. So you can arrange the teams that will come second, third, and fourth in the entire Serie A if you know how. Now, let's talk about league table as well. You see, Arsenal have put themselves in a position where once they won that game in hand against Everton, they put themselves in a position whereby what they need to do is keep winning. I was saying to somebody that they've got 12 games to the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Of those 12 games, they just need to win 10 and draw 1. It's not going to be easy. So they can still afford to lose to Manchester City and win the title for as long as they don't lose every other game. But you know how difficult every other game can be going forward. Kudos to Chelsea. Their mini revival is on. They won 3-1 against Leicester City. That was a good one as well for them. And then Everton did something that I wasn't expecting. I didn't see that coming. Everton winning against Brentford. I thought that Brentford was a very, very robust and very, very difficult team to play against. And Everton have not been fantastic so well. So you think that they were going to win that one, but that just didn't happen. Arsenal play Fulham tomorrow, and I'm looking at that game. You know, I'm going to give my take after the matches in the evening. But before that game, I need your thought on that one. Arsenal are dealing with injury now. Most likely, Ten is not available. Zinchenko is not going to be available. He's not feeling fine. And we're not sure if they're going to bring Gabriel back as soon, you know, this early. Should the coach now try to play Jacob Kivior on the left-hand side, or probably play Tomiyasu on the left-hand side, who's also lacking in confidence? If you are Mikel Arteta, who would you play on the left side of the fence? Because that position is not a problem against Fulham. Now, Fulham might look like, oh, not a difficult opposition. You make that mistake, then you're ready to die. Bournemouth from the bottom of the table defeated Liverpool. Not that. Everton also battling relegation, defeated Arsenal at Goodison Park. Let's not forget all of that in a heartbeat and pretend like, oh, Arsenal, because they're on top of the league, they are the super team. If you're the coach of Arsenal tomorrow, Mikel Arteta, how are you going to arrange your team so that you don't feel the impact of those players that are left? And then there's this question somebody threw to me midweek, and I want to bring it before you guys. So Arsenal, we hear that Arsenal is chasing to sign a striker in the summer. Most likely they will go back for Vlahovic, okay, from Juventus, because he wants to leave. He desperately wants to leave. He's not feeling settled. He's not feeling comfortable. Now he wants to leave. Now there's the talk of Dusan Vlahovic as a guy that Arsenal would want to sign. But then, with the kind of form that Folarin Balogun is showing and the story that AC Milan would like to sign him as a replacement for the soon-to-leave former Arsenal, former Chelsea player Olivier Giroud, the French all-time highest goal scorer. Do you think that Arsenal should, instead of going to sign Vlahovic, should just call Folarin Balogun back, have Folarin Balogun, have Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus in that team, and then fortify other areas like getting in Declan Rice, and then probably get Yuri Tillemans for free to add up bodies in the midfield, and probably get a backup in the left full back and let Tierney go? If you are going to advise Mikel Arteta, what are the decisions you would take if you're like in a position to advise Edu and Mikel Arteta in that direction, what would it be for you? Now, there's one team that, I started out the conversation, but I didn't say much about them. It's Napoli. One of the things that people don't give them credit for, Luciano Spalletti and his team credit for. If you look at every other surprise team, and when I say surprise team, you would agree with me that Napoli is not the number one team in Italy. So you do not wake up every season and you expect them to win the league title. That's why they've not won it for 33 years, okay? And they're not even in the Liverpool category, just in case somebody say, but Liverpool went 30 years without winning it. In Italian football, you talk about Juventus, you talk about Inter Milan, you talk about AC Milan, and then Napoli will still not come first again after those three. You still talk about Roma, you still talk about Lazio, and then maybe probably before you talk about Napoli. So look at many teams that have been like the impossible, that are doing the impossible. When Leicester did the impossible in 2016, they couldn't have add any other competition to it. Napoli have never made it to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's about to happen midweek, okay? And they are chasing the league title. When Arsenal, was playing in the Champions League and got all the way to the finals, their league position suffered. The 2 times that Chelsea have won the Champions League, their league position also suffered. But this performance that Napoli is putting up, where they are currently 18 points above the second place team with the same number of matches played, and they have a 2-goal advantage away from home in the UEFA Champions League. Do you think at this point Napoli should backpedal a little bit in the league and try to go all the way in the Champions League, or they should continue just the way they've been playing, get it going just the way they have been, and then hope to God that they win a magical, impossible double? The Italian Serie A, which is 99% downloaded, and the UEFA Champions League. I mean, people say it's not possible. Just imagine maybe Napoli getting Benfica next round, and then they beat them. They are in the semi-finals. And probably Real Madrid and Bayern Munich get to draw each other. AC Milan and Man City gets to draw each other, depending on who qualifies anyway, because Man City are not guaranteed yet. And all of that happens, and then you see Napoli playing Benfica in the quarterfinals. They beat them to get to the semi-finals. They play probably AC Milan or one team that is not silly too that strong again. Then they win there in the finals, and then before you know it, it's happening again. I know that competitions like excuse me, competitions like the Champions League does not open its back door to new winners. Since 1990, we've had only 2 new team win it. Juventus in 96, if I'm not mistaken. That's me calculating that they've not won it before 96, And I might be wrong on that. I stand corrected. But Chelsea is the only new team since 1990 up until now that have come from, non-previous winning status to win it. So Napoli might just be another team that will win it. If you agree with me, tell me what you think. If you disagree, give me your reason. But please, let's be respectful in the community when we comment. Let's not insult ourselves. Let's be friends. And don't forget, if you have the opportunity to support us with thanks, support us with thanks. If you have the opportunity to support us during our live show with Super Chat, please do well to do that. If you also have the means to be part of our membership project, please join the membership, because it helps us to fund all the projects that we're doing. Having said that, what we would appreciate and cherish the most is your comment, your subscription, your clicking on the notification button, as well as referring us to other people. Be our source of recruiting more subscribers. God bless you, and have for yourself a wonderful weekend and week ahead. Thank you for always being on our channel. Once again, my name is Idafe Matthew. You love to call me the better one of us. Have a lovely time.